Fran Brown is an absolute animal on the recruiting trail.
You are Locked On Syracuse, your daily podcast on the Syracuse Orange, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up, everyone, on this Monday, April 1st? I'm Jackson Holzer here on the Locked On Syracuse Podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thanks so much for tuning in, making this episode your first listen of the day. And guys, Fran Brown is unbelievable. He is incredible. He is exceeding every expectation I had in terms of at least the recruiting aspect for Syracuse football. We are living in bizarro world right now. We got NC State in the Final Four like it's 1983, and we got Fran Brown out here making Syracuse football look like it's back in the 90s and the glory days in 1987 and all that fun jazz. Holy moly. It is incredible what is going on here. A top 80 recruit in the country has just committed to Syracuse. Now, he is the class of 2026, but Demetres Samuel, top 80 in the country, is committed to Syracuse. Oh my goodness. We're going to discuss all of that, plus a recruiting update as a whole. Who is Syracuse still looking at in the class of 2025? So we'll go to 2025 instead of 2026. And also comparing the recruiting that's been done recently to previous years, because guys, I'm telling you, you're going to want to stick around because I did the digging for you. It is remarkable what Fran Brown has done so far in his short time at Syracuse, and he hasn't even coached a game yet. Today's episode is brought to you by Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDON for $20 off your first purchase. Okay, guys, so Demetres Samuel, he is currently on On3 right now, a top 80 overall recruit in the country. He is listed as an athlete, but he's mainly a defensive back from Palm Bay, Florida. He goes to Heritage High School. He chose Syracuse over schools like Florida, Minnesota, and Nebraska. A top 80 recruit in the country coming to Syracuse. And I think this just is everything and more that we could have asked for so far from Fran Brown. Obviously, the season doesn't kick off for a while, but we wanted someone who could recruit at the very least. When Syracuse had Dino Babers, not only was he not the greatest football coach in the world, and I say greatest in a facetious way, but he was not good at recruiting. Syracuse was consistently towards the bottom of the ACC and outside of the top 50 in the nation. I'm sorry, guys, but Dino Babers could never land someone that was top 80 in the country, ever. Not even close. Demetres Samuel, the athlete from Palm Bay, Florida, Heritage High School, unbelievable. He said, quote, "I have the best cornerback coach in the country coaching me at the position, and he's my head coach." So here is a scenario where Fran Brown is playing to his strength. He was the defensive backs coach at Georgia. At the very least, as someone who is named the top recruiter in the country by 24/7 Sports, he should be able to recruit defensive backs. Talented ones too. And Samuel said it. He's got one of the best cornerback coaches in the country as his head coach. It's kind of like what Deion Sanders did at Colorado. It's kind of similar. How he's a defensive back and he brings in DBs, right? Like Travis Hunter, who can play both. He also said that the program is changing and that Coach Fran is building an SEC type of program. An SEC program. Syracuse and SEC in the same sentence? In a positive way? Hold on. That's his words. That's what Demetres Samuel said. That Coach Fran Brown, who was built up as a recruiter, is turning this program into an SEC school, the premier conference in all of college football. Folks, this is incredible. You should be excited because what the future of this program, maybe they're not the greatest team right off the bat, but we have someone now at the helm that can get talent in the building, that can compete with almost any team in the country. And when was the last time Syracuse had that? When was the last time Syracuse had the players to actually be able to really win big? And something that came to my mind before I recorded this is after the North Carolina game this season, where Syracuse got annihilated by Drake May and co. in North Carolina. And I remember thinking to myself, you know, why can't Syracuse just be one of those teams? At the very least, the one that I gave the example of was, why can't they at least just be TCU one day? You know, be a consistently solid program with that occasional spike year. And I'm not talking a spike year like they had in 2018 when they won 10 games. No, I'm talking about an actual spike year. The college football playoff is 12 teams now, and it's going to expand to 14. It wasn't long ago where Syracuse was once ranked top 14 in the country when they went into Clemson and should have won that game. But my point being was, after that one, why can't they just have one of those years? Well, now I think it's actually feasible with the recruits that they have so far pulled in and the recruits that they are currently talking to. They can get these guys. And Fran Brown, as Demetres Samuel said, is turning this program into an SEC school. It's unbelievable. Coming up, a football recruiting update as a whole. Where does Syracuse stand around the nation? I was once trying to buy a last-minute ticket for a New York Mets game last year, and it was frustrating. I couldn't see the view from my seat, and the deals weren't that good at all. That's why I now use Gametime. Gametime is now an authorized ticket marketplace of Major League Baseball, which makes getting tickets even faster and easier. Prices on the Gametime app actually go down the closer it gets to the first pitch. One game that I'm thinking about attending is Mets Marlins down in Miami on May 19th. And I can get in right now for as little as $5. I went to the Gametime app, searched up Mets tickets, and the deal popped up right away. And guys, I got to figure with Gametime that it's only going to go down from there. I can go to an MLB game for less than $5 closer to the pitch. And you can even do the same with any team of your choosing. That includes the Syracuse Mets, which I was at their ballpark the other day. That's right, Syracuse Mets. It's so easy to find. They're at home Wednesday, April 11th, and you can get in for as little as $4 right now, and that's only going to go down. You get a panoramic view from your seat in the app before you buy. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONCollege, LOCKEDONCOLLEGE for $20 off. Download the Gametime app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. Are you watching Fox Sports or ESPN on your TV all day? Have to turn down the volume with all that shouting? Make the switch to Locked On Sports Today, a free 24/7 sports streaming channel program for you every day to bring you the biggest stories without all the streaming. Locked On Sports Today brings you can't-miss analysis, opinions, and news, streaming 24/7 on YouTube or the free Amazon Fire TV channels app. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Welcome back, everyone, into Locked On Syracuse. I'm Jackson Holzer. The Orange recently got Demetres Samuel, a top 80 national recruit in the country in the class of 2026. He is currently the first Orange recruit in that class, and it is unbelievable what Coach Fran Brown is doing, and I will keep saying this. This is what Samuel said, the recruit himself, that this program is turning into an SEC school. It's incredible what Coach Fran Brown has been doing so far. So here's where Syracuse stands right now, according to 24/7 Sports on the recruiting trail. For the class of 2024, Syracuse is number 37 overall, which is 8th in the ACC, which is by Syracuse standards over the last couple of decades. I'm going to get to that later on in the show. It's pretty good for this program. I'm telling you guys. It's headlined by 5 four-star recruits: King Joseph Edwards, who's an edge; Emmanuel Ross, a wide receiver; Jamie Tremble, a tight end; Caden Brown, an edge; and Marcellus Barnes, a cornerback. 5 four-star recruits in the class of 2024. And Coach Fran Brown, that's only the beginning. That's only the beginning for him, because he didn't have a lot of time to build up that 2024 class. Remember, Dino was here all season, basically. Fran Brown didn't arrive till December. He's had all this. He's got a longer runway for 2025 and 2026. That's all I'm going to say. It's only going to get better from here, because right now, in football, Syracuse has the number 15 overall class in 2025. Number 15 overall. That's incredible. Hold on. They're number 15. I can't actually believe it. And I know it's early. It's early in the recruiting trail. Like right now, they have a better recruiting class than Georgia. And we all know by the end of it, when the dust all settles, that Georgia is going to have a better recruiting class than Syracuse in 2025. We can all kind of just accept that. And that's totally okay in my book. And it should be okay in your book. And if it's not, feel free to let me know in the comments section that Syracuse should just have the best recruiting class ever. But the point being, it's already off to a flying start. 9 commitments already, and it's in April. 9 commits already, and you think that's a big number, and you're correct. That is currently tied for 7th in the country in terms of total commits. 7th in the country. What more do I need to say about Fran Brown? That he needs to win football games now? Yeah, I know. He needs to win football games, but having this team already that's 9th or 15th overall in the country in recruiting is remarkable. Headlined by Charlandon Strange, who's an edge, 4-star quarterback on Rivals, top 25 in the country, Luke Carney. So high hopes for him. And Byron Washington, who went viral from Texas for his pancake block. He is a 3-star, but he is 6'8", 380 pounds. This dude is a monster. Okay, I understand that he is a 3-star, but Byron Washington, if he puts the pieces together, has the size to be a first-round pick in the NFL draft. Not saying he's going to be a first-round pick in the NFL draft, guys. Don't come at me. But I'm saying he has the physical gifts. He has the physical tools. And you can teach someone how to play football, right? You can teach someone how to play football, but you can't teach 600, you can't teach 6'8", 380 pounds. It's like me, right? I can't play football. I've accepted it. I'm like 5'9" on a good day, a $140 on a good day. It doesn't matter if you can teach me how to play football. I don't have the physical tools. And most likely you don't either, if you're listening to this. Byron Washington has all the physical gifts to be one of the best tackles in the country and a potential first-round pick in the NFL draft. It's up to the Syracuse coaching staff to now harness those physical tools and make him an elite blocker. So I know he's a 3-star recruit, but I'm telling you guys, he can be elite. They also have interest in tons of other players here. Rivals 5-star wide receiver Winston Watkins, who unofficially visited Syracuse on Wednesday. Michael Thomas, he's a 4-star receiver, not to be confused with the Michael Thomas in the NFL. He visited Syracuse in January and currently has SU in his top 5 list of schools. Jalen Matthews is a 4-star tackle. He's visiting between May 31st and June 2nd. He has Syracuse in his top 6 list of schools. And he's a Jersey guy. Mentioned that reason why he's basically considering Syracuse is because Fran Brown and Elijah Robinson, all the Jersey guys together, right? Ben Hanks Jr., another one. He's a 4-star cornerback from Florida. SU is in his top 6 list of schools right now. And Dwayne Galloway from Marion Franklin High School in Ohio. He is a 4-star cornerback. Again, that's Coach Fran Brown's neck of the woods. Cornerbacks. Has Syracuse in his top 12 list of schools right now. And he's coming up to campus June 14th to the 16th for an official visit. So, guys, this 2025 recruiting class, which is number 15 currently in the country and currently better than Georgia, I think we should just take a picture of it and just frame it forever that we have a better recruiting class than Georgia, can only get better. It really might just only get better from here, guys. The culture that Fran Brown is bringing to this program that desperately needed it is incredible. And coming up, well, I've kind of teased it, but here are some mind-boggling numbers to really kind of put everything into perspective as to why this recruiting is just incredible. Amazon Fire TV is the place I get the top streaming apps and channels for movies, TV, for watching Syracuse football games next season. Also, the Final Four, which is coming up. Fire TV is your destination for sports. From live games to highlights to in-depth analysis, Fire TV offers amazing viewing experiences with smart TVs, as well as the Fire TV stick that you can plug into your existing TV that provides access to millions of movies and TV episodes, as well as free and live TV. Whether it's opening weekend for baseball or the college basketball tournament, you're going to want to have a Fire TV. Fire TV recently created Fire TV channels to deliver a constant supply of the latest videos from your favorite sports brands, all for free. That includes all of us at Locked On and most of the big pro leagues and college conferences as well. Fire TV channels lets you dive into all of the game analysis, highlights, and more to keep up to date on all the latest in the world of sports. March Madness, NBA, MLB, which just started, and lots more. Not to mention great news, entertainment, gaming, travel, cooking videos as well. Check out Fire TV channels on Fire TV and Alexa devices. If you haven't checked out Fire TV channels, you should. Trust me on this. To learn more, visit www.amazon.com/LockedOnFireTV. Locked On has launched the first ever national sports 24/7 streaming channel on YouTube, and now it's also available on Amazon Fire TV in the free Fire TV channels app. Locked On Sports Today is here for you 24/7, covering the top sports stories of the day with the local experts of Locked On, plus our national shows covering every league. Find Locked On Sports Today now available on the free Fire TV channels app. Welcome back, everyone, into Locked On Syracuse. I'm Jackson Holzer, and folks, Demetres Samuel, a top 80 national recruit in the country in 2026, has recently committed to Syracuse. Unbelievable start to that class for the Orange, and The 2025 class is also off to a flying start with currently the number 15 overall class in the country ahead of Georgia, ironically. Kind of incredible. And it might only get better with all the 4 and 5 stars coming to visit Syracuse or have visited Syracuse, or at least have the Orange on their list of top schools that they might be committing to. Now, to really put everything into perspective of how crazy this recent run of Syracuse football recruiting has been, I'm going to take you through the numbers here. The last time Syracuse football had this good of a recruiting class coming in, which is for 2024, it's the number 37 overall in the country, was actually in 2001 when SU had the number 29 overall class in the nation. That's the last time Syracuse had a class that was this good. It gets even better. So the 2025 class, which is number 15 overall, as I keep mentioning, currently 9 commits too, already in April. The last time Syracuse had a top 20 overall class in the country was in 2000. 2000. Top 15 overall class. 25 years. Because I'm talking about the class of 2025. Coach Fran Brown has been here for just a few months. And he's already doing things that haven't been done in 2 decades. Incredible. Since 2003, Syracuse has had a top 50 recruiting class, which is what the Orange have right now coming in to this season. Syracuse has had a top 50 recruiting class just twice. Just twice. That was in 2007 and 2019. Yeah, Syracuse football has not been great in recruiting recently, but Fran Brown is certainly changing that. And I cannot tell you the last time Syracuse had 5 4-star recruits in one class, because I'm using 24/7 Sports. They do a great job with their rankings. They give you their rankings. They give you composite rankings as well. So I use them for the most part. You can use whatever site you want. They're all great. Demetres Samuel is an on-3 top 80 recruit. But it's 2026, so not all the sites really have him ranked yet. But On3 has him ranked. The reason why I can't tell you SU, the last time Syracuse had 5 4-star recruits in one class, is because 24/7 Sports didn't have the ratings or the stars even listed. If you go onto their site, you can't see any of their ratings until 2011. So with that being said, to summarize that for you, it has at least been over a decade since Syracuse has had 5 4-star players in the same class. And that's just heading into this season, where Fran Brown didn't have that much time to really recruit for 2024. And he already has done something that at least hasn't been done in a decade. Folks, the reason why I'm hyped, and the reason why you should be excited too, is because what the Orange are doing right now is putting their money where their mouth is. They were going to go after a top recruiter in the country. That's Fran Brown. He brings in Elijah Robinson, who's also a top recruiter in the country. They sold the program who they were. And it's currently April 1st, and it seems like they're already accomplishing it. I am convinced that Fran Brown doesn't sleep. I don't know if he sleeps. I think he's just on the phone every single day trying to recruit kids to come play for him. And a concern I had was, well, it's one thing to, recruit at Georgia and you're recruiting to play for Kirby Smart. It's another thing to kind of, you're the man now. You're recruiting as the man. And so far, he's the man. Fran Brown is the man. and he hasn't even coached a game so far. Incredible, remarkable. We're living in bizarro world. Syracuse football is on the up and up, and I can't wait to watch them play next season and the seasons to come, because I know that the man in charge is going to do he's going to do everything he can to get the best players in the country to play for this team, which is something we haven't been able to say in quite some time. So with that, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. If you like this video, click that like button. If you really like this video, subscribe to the channel and turn on those notifications so you can know right away when I'm dropping the next podcast, potentially the next recruiting update, because it seems like Fran Brown is never going to stop with recruiting. Thank you guys so much for watching. We will be back tomorrow.